Hello, everyone. Welcome to Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast, where on each and every episode, we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. I am your host, Ryan Doze, back from sabbatical, back from my 1 week off, where two of the members of our little hosting team tonight covered for me, and I'm so thankful that Faz is back. Eric Teske is back because we're still talking about Hercules. Like, Eric is eating so good in the world of comics right now. And Will Rose is back from a summer off. So, hey, Faz, I'm a little rusty on my hosting duties. So, how did you feel last week went? We're talking about new comics this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's
how are you doing?
The first thing I want to be clear about, listeners, is that Ryan's not back from a vacation. We locked him in the Utgard jail. That's not Eric, Josh, and I took over. We had some Hercules, Mangog, and Thor stuff going on, and Ryan wasn't invited. So he's acting like it was a break he needed, but really it was a total us domination, and it's just important that we get that out there. But I'm very excited to talk about my guy Speedo Thor and everything he got up to.
Speedo Thor, this is gonna be good. Eric, you return from your I feel like billionth appearance in a row, because as long as we're talking about Hercules, Eric needs to be here for it. Yep. Last week we talked about Immortal Thor 14. This week we're talking about Giant Size Thor number 1. How are you feeling about this kind of resurgence of Hercules in Thor comics?
I'm feeling great. And, every time Hercules appears in comics, I get a little bit stronger and we get a few more followers because I've been recruiting people at work, friends that we've made, people at work. I'm telling everybody, you got to listen to my episodes because I'm going to be talking about Hercules on here. So hopefully we get those numbers up. But yeah, no, I'm loving all the Hercules appearances. And I think I can convince you that this is actually not a Thor comic. This is a Hercules comic.
Yes.
You know what? I'm okay with being convinced of that because I kind of agree with you already. Will, you are back from a summer away. We've on our pre-games, we've talked about bears, we've talked about British brother-in-laws, we've talked about all sorts of
my
things.
Mom.
Are you ready to talk about my Thor
mom
comics?
We've talked about my mom for a while.
Okay, this is the third episode in a row that you've mentioned how attractive your mom is, and
no, I didn't say that. You just said that. I just said my mom, Kay Rose. Let's lift her up. No, talk about sabbatical. Sabbath meaning rest or take a breath.
What is going on?
We're going theological. There's been a lot. Listen to our Patreon about what we've been up to.
Still plugging it.
And all our things.
Giant size. I have
a question.
Pre-game number 1.
You guys know I'm all about legacy numbers. So why is this giant size Thor number 1? But there's no legacy number underneath it. But it says giant size 50th.
So should it be 50?
What legacy number is this giant size Thor?
My interpretation of this is that it is the 50th anniversary of the giant size moniker in the titling of Marvel Comics. It's not a legacy number thing because it's like a one shot. Treat it as a one shot.
And it takes place before Thor 13. So if you want to think about it as where it would go, it's 749.5 or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
If you really want to get specific, Will, which I'll bet you do.
I do.
Guys, we are going to be chatting about Giant Size Thor number 1. We're going to be talking really specifically about the new story, the Al Ewing pen story. There is a reprint at the back half of this.
I love that reprint so much. I love it so freaking much.
It's from Walt Simonson's run, but it doesn't actually feature Walt Simonson. It's Thor 3. Oh, God.
65.
Oh, someone help me out here.
356.
356.
Yeah, it's the it's the Hercules pulling Manhattan story. That not written by Walt Simonson, but it is in here as a backup story reprint. We are going to be talking about the new part of this, and it is called In Medias Res, which just means in the middle of, which is one of the themes of this issue. Kind of the overarching theme is that we're jumping into the middle of a story where Thor is already captured. He's already being taken advantage of with his power, and Hercules is being called upon to rescue his friend because one of the citizens of this planet prayed to him, which is kind of interesting. Hercules in this story calls out the fact hey, not a lot of people pray to me anymore. So when I hear it, it's I have to go answer it. and we get this giant fight between Hercules and Thor, and this giant robot Thor that Thor is actually trapped inside of, and these aliens are using the all power to fuel this giant like Megazord robot
Mechathor.
and
Mechathor.
Mechathor. Yeah, obviously that's what we should be calling it. Will, thank you.
You're welcome.
And
You're welcome.
Thor just kind of like willpowers his way out of this.
Will
Hercules.
Powers.
Oh my God. How much?
Oh my God. I can't, you know what? There's a reason why you weren't on the last like 12 episodes. So but then like Thor and Hercules, they team up to take down this robot from the inside, and then as the comic ends, we see Thor flying out through the eye of the giant robot, which is a really funny callback to the beginning where Thor pulls out his eye to gain wisdom and power, but he flies out through the eye, and they fly off to the adventures of Immortal Thor 13 and 14. So I give us kind of a truncated synopsis there so that we can talk about more of our favorite parts, guys. So Eric, you're the resident Hercules guy. You've really been, helpful in these conversations about Hercules and really highlighting the Prince of Power. What were some good Hercules parts of this comic that really stood out to you?
Well, as all of our listeners know from reading the Hercules solo title in 1982, the Seagramites are back. The little snail people.
Yes.
And Seagramites live on Seagram 7, and it sounds exactly like Seagram's gin. You know, it's Seagram's, but it's appropriate because it's the distiller's planet. So they brew the strongest intoxicants in the known universe, which is how Hercules ends up there. That's why they're referencing drinking. The president's like, drink anyone? No, like, because they're distillers. And it's actually crucial because Hercules uses the strongest liquor in the universe to spike Galactus's drink to make Galactus laugh. He takes his helmet off, which is disturbing to see Galactus without a helmet on. And Galactus says, hey, I'm having a great time. You're very amusing. I'm going to spare the planet. That's how Hercules becomes like their favorite god. That's why they're praying to him, because he literally saved their planet.
Eric, I love when you're here because I never in a million years would have known that story. And it's so much better for knowing that that's how this is.
Everyone needs everyone needs an Eric Teske in their life to like do the research you didn't even know you could do.
Hercules tries to beat Galactus by getting him drunk. That's insane.
So then the Seagramites, that's how Hercules kind of becomes their like phone god kind of guy.
He's saved their planet twice already. And so when they're in a pinch, they're praying to Hercules for sure.
Wow. Okay. Hey, Will, Faz, either of you want to top that?
I mean, no. I'd like to reference real quick the fact that we get a reference to one of the best Thor stories there is, The Last Ragnarok, at the beginning. The one page, I tried to allude to it without spoiling for Eric that it was going to be in here when we last did our recording. It's cool to see that one come back. I'm not the biggest fan of the Jurgens run, but that ending fucking slapped. So it's cool to get an allusion to that, and it kind of plays throughout the episode.
Wow.
Faz, do you want to give us a little more than that? Like, who's this ghost? Like, what's the context?
Sure. Yeah. So the context for spoilers for when we do the Jurgen saga in like 5 years, when it's time to get to another iconic Thor run. Ragnarok is upon us, and Thor is trying to take control of the all power to be able to end this war in whatever way is necessary. So the ghost child is actually the Odin force, or the Thor force, I guess, depending on which part of this you'd want to think of it as. And those are Odin's ravens trying to guide Thor to become Rune King Thor. So at this stage, he gets to the Well of Mimir, and he needs to decide, well, Odin gave an eye, so I guess I'll give an eye. And they say, screw you, Odin did that already. What's the point of a sacrifice that someone already did? He has to give a second eye, and he's fully blinded. And then he hangs himself on a tree for a long period of time, and he comes back as the Rune King Thor with the ability to end all the cyclical Ragnarok stories. This is very important, listeners, because this is where the big ones who sit above in shadow Thor crossovers happen.
Mm.
And Al Ewing is talking about the Utgard people who might be those who sit above in shadow. So this is Al continuing to add his, even in this fun little filler slap him up with a giant-sized Thor pun, we're still building on that lore and connecting it all together in a way that's very cool.
Yeah,
Eric, how did you do? Was that pretty good for research? I know you're going to kill me here. You got this.
That was that was fantastic. Yeah, you got. I mean, all the major points. When people talk about Rune King Thor, I've heard that name thrown around a lot, but I never really even knew what it meant. But we know the power of the runes is incredibly powerful, and he gets this omnipotence and this wisdom and the magic of the runes. So he really becomes extremely powerful, and that's referenced here, and it's like a nice callback.
Yeah, I love that. Like Hercules, like they pray to Hercules, but then who does Hercules pray to get ready for this thing? Like he prays to like what remind me?
Tyche. I think it's pronounced
luck.
The god of luck. Tyche, I believe it's pronounced.
The god of luck and opportunity or something like that.
That's fun.
So the fact that like there's like this meta level praying to different gods to figure out who's going to help. Like you have the small snail that aliens that are caught between this battle between these greater gods of these conquerors, aliens slash Thor, Mecha Thor, giant size Thor, like literally giant size Thor shows up here, but they have to figure out a way to break free from that. But then they team up and they battle and but like even Hercules is praying to a certain type of god to help them through this kind of like way to defeat what's going on in the next level. I think is pretty leveled in meta, and I love that aspect of things. So what do we guys take on that? Like even Hercules is praying to a certain aspect of a pantheon of gods to help him through what they need to get through, defeating what they need to defeat.
Kind of goes back to what we were talking about on a previous episode, where just like the gods know, Zeus is aware of Nyx, and Thor knows about Nyx, and like they all know each other. It seems like, and so they're very aware that there are these other deities out there, and so it seems the way that Hercules is using this is that they might be actually useful or able to help each other in other ways other than just being like on the same level. He might have actually gotten some luck, a little miracle of his own, because he's praying as he's crash landing into the head of this Mecha Thor. So I mean that seems like
I love Mecha Thor so much. But Ryan like texted us like, oh, this is like filler of fillers. Like, yeah, I agree. This is a filler. This is a like giant size Thor #1, 50th anniversary. We're gonna try to grab people's attention when they're at a comic book store to grab a new #1. And where does this fit in like all things? But like it's a cool story to talk about like how this fits in the grander story of Thor and a meta level of like mythology of how you share these things. And yeah, you have these aliens who are caught between these two big battles of things, but yet you have like a team up of like Hercules and Thor together to kind of to draw them together in a battle together. And then you have this like reprint at the end to share kind of how their history together. But yeah, it's filler, and yet there's a deeper story here that they're trying to tell. Like Ryan, where do you think this fits with Al Ewing's grand story of Thor and the ongoing continuity of what they're trying to tell within these Marvel stories?
So let me clarify one thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I mean filler of filler, I also do that with the caveat of when Al Ewing does filler, it doesn't feel like filler. So like we get a smash 'em up giant robot fight between Hercules, Thor, and this alien species, and for in a lot of people's hands, that is like, okay, this is Marvel team up level silliness, and you guys know I'm here for Marvel team up level silliness. But when Al Ewing does filler, it still has the like deeper lore, like Faz and Eric are talking about, referencing Jurgens, referencing mythology, And I love how at the end we see how it can probably tie back in to the larger Al Ewing narrative, because he talks about more sacrifices being needed down the road. And we're getting to that point now where we're at the point of the second test of the 3 that we've talked about, and starting to see different elements of Al Ewing's bigger game plan come into our line of sight. So I love that at the end of this, we do see a bit of a nod to where the larger story is headed. I think it fits in perfectly. It kind of gave me a little bit of the in terms of level of importance. It gave me Roxxon Presents Thor vibes, because it added to the main narrative, but it was definitely designed as a one shot.
It feels very 90s. The action felt 90s, the costumes felt 90s, the art style
90s.
Yeah. And I think
there was a little point where Thor had shrunken head syndrome. Where I was just like, wow, he is like big, huge, broad chested, shoulders for days, and then just little itty bitty pinhead. Sorry, Eric, go ahead. I cut you
I was
off.
going to say, I think the inclusion of the Ragnarok and Thor disassembled stuff really kind of gives this more of the narrative sort of weight. I think without that, it would have just been a little bit more silly, and it would have been a Hercules silly story. But we know that there's going to be a sacrifice. We all see it coming. I mean, we've even seen a panel where Thor is dead, and we've seen the vision right from.
Uller showed us that.
Yeah, exactly. So we know that's coming. And so I think this just is a nice reminder that, Thor had to die to be reborn to gain this wisdom and this power. I mean, so that's happened before. So maybe when he dies this time, because it seems like he's going to, then it's going to be the change of a cycle, or the end of a cycle, or he's going to be changing the status quo somehow, because that's really
the turning of a wheel.
The turning of a wheel. Exactly.
Listeners, Ryan just not verbally screamed in a way that was vaguely romantic and vaguely excited.
No, I've got neighbors. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So we've talked about deep lore. We've talked about where the larger narrative is headed. Guys, can we talk about something that's more like my level of comic book reading? Giant size Mecha Thor. I'll be honest. I did not get enough giant Mecha Thor. When we see him for the first time, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is badass. It's not Martin Coccolo's, Iron Man Gundam suit cool, but it's it's a cool thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, Thor's going to bust out of this thing, but the aliens are going to still be able to control it somehow. And he's going to Thor is going to fight giant robot Thor. Didn't get that. All we saw really was Hercules bust into the head of the thing. And then most of the fighting happens inside of it. Did you guys feel like we got enough Mecha Thor? Did we not get enough of it? Where did you land on the actual, yes, it's the pun of the issue, but do you think we even got enough of it? I don't think we did.
Ryan, the real giant Thor was inside of us all along, and it was inside of the real giant Thor all along. Yeah.
Wow. Someone else, not this guy.
I think at first when I saw the 2-page spread, I was like, okay, so Thor is a spaceship, and then I see on the next page, okay, it's actually it's articulated, it can move around, it's bringing the hammer down on these the snail's defensive dome, so it can move, but we don't get near enough Mecha Thor action. No. I want to see some rampaging, some moving around. We barely get an idea of the sense of scale of this thing.
Yeah, it's Al, give us more Saturday morning cartoon nonsense. Here's the thing. We come from Immortal Thor 14, where we get this amazing action issue of Thor and Zeus going toe to toe, beating the shit out of each other. And then you're like, Thor's going to fight a giant robot? My gosh, I just feel so good about this. And then we didn't get enough robot. Will, did you get enough robot? And I swear to God, if you stay a pun, I'm flying out there.
Well, there was what was the Hulk run? Who did the Hulk run? Was it Donny Cates that was giant sized Hulk robot where
yeah.
Starship Hulk.
Starship Hulk.
Yeah.
Like there's that kind of and I see what's going on here, but like you don't only have enough room or space to do this. So like this is your one issue. To be honest, I love that reprint, and we'll talk about it a little bit, maybe a little bit in the end. But like,
if you want to,
I feel like let's not do the reprint. Let's just do more Mechathor and spread out this with a giant sized issue of 65 pages or whatever. If you're going to charge me money for a giant sized comic book, then let's like not reprint.
If you're going to charge me money, Will's been stealing all of his comics.
Yeah, I have a credit line with Ultimate Comics because the North Carolina Comic Con. I'm the unofficial chaplain to Ultimate Comics in Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah,
so
I get comics at a price so well.
But I hear you. I wish there was a little bit more there, but I understand you talked about the economy of storytelling. You only have a limited space to tell the story. How you going to do it? So I would rather let's not spend space of like Mechathor, but let's have Thor and Hercules team up, and the aspects of the hammer and like mini lightnings and him summoning power to the hammer to go out and about. Like I love the aspect of this story as well, of him powering up in a different way to get revenge or whatever he needs to do, rather than just being like Mechathor.
I think it would have been really easy if you would have, obviously page rate and all that kind of stuff, like not being able to do as many pages. I just felt like this was a very truncated short issue if you only read the new stuff. And then adding in that reprint at the end, I was like, man, I could have dealt with like 10 more pages of like Hercules fighting the mech to get inside Thor, because they kept referencing the labyrinth of memories that Thor was being tempted. We didn't see that. Like we saw very little of what was going on in Thor's head, and you could have added that in. And then once they bust out of the mech could have still kept fighting. Like they could have just like destroyed it. You could have seen the Seagramites like celebrate, like, hey, our guy did it again. Man, this Hercules guy, we should really just keep praying to him. There's things you could have done within this contained story to make it a truly giant-sized issue, but it just felt like a regular issue with a reprint attached at the end, and that's what it ended up truly being. Faz, what do you think, man?
I mean, for me, it was all worth it because the lore of the Rune King Thor was one of the coolest Thor things I've ever read, and the fact that we're implicitly showing that we're moving even beyond that here, that like there's that whole thing where back in the day I'd lose my eyes and my eyes are just gone, but now I can just touch my face and the all power is so strong now that I'm completely healed again. Like this Thor is even beyond the Thor that could stop those who sit above in shadow and remake the universe and the Asgardians down the road, right? Like I agree. I like robots. I would like to see Thor and Hercules fighting a big giant robot.
Feel like you like robots, Faz.
But I've gotten 3 or 4 really cool lore nuggets in this one, and that's kind of the lore heavy mythological stuff is what brings me to the Thor comics, and that's I feel like I still got that in this one. So I don't feel like I'm missing much, although I would have enjoyed a little mech fight at the end. Give me 3 more pages of that.
So it's good to know that when Faz goes to Asgardian Burger King, he's just like, I'll take a 4-piece lore nuggets, and just some side of whatever sauce you got. I like
sweet and sour always, Ryan. Sweet and sour or plum, 100%.
Did you say plum?
Do you not have plum sauce where you're from?
No.
Get the hell out of here,
guys! It's like sweet and sour sauce, but infinitely better.
Oh my god!
You're all missing out. You're all missing out, you Americans. I'm so sorry for you.
Sorry, we don't put fruit on our chicken nuggets.
Oh, someday try plum sauce. It's just like a healthier, better tasting sweet and sour sauce.
I look like someone that would know what you would eat with the chicken nugget. So as looking like that person, dude, I'm just gonna say bullshit.
As from here on out, I'm calling you plum sauce from here on out, bro. Like that is fully what I'm calling you.
New ick unlocked. Eric, we've referenced the Rune King, which makes me think we should probably do Jurgens sooner rather than later. But were there any other lore nuggets in here, or just like cool things that you wanted to draw attention to that, they don't have to be Hercules related. But you are a big Guardians fan. We got a Rocket Raccoon cameo.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. We got a hologram rocket. So Hercules stole the Somerville, which is the diplomatic two-seater shuttle. That is what the Star-Lord and Nova took to in a X-Men book called Sword. That was back where they were having this galactic council meeting, and it was very spacey and things like that. But they have used it before. It's not this ship's first appearance, so it's a specific ship from Guardians.
Nice.
They reference a false distress call from Rigel, which is the Rigellans are the same race that have the recorders. We know that the recorders.
Yes, I knew that one.
Everyone loves the recorders, and Hercules has a recorder with him for most of his solo titles. I also appreciated the song lyrics, "Larger Than Life" and "Fresh from the Fight." That is
loved that.
Holding out for a hero by Bonnie Tyler. So
so good. Like I really, Al Ewing is a delight to read.
Yes.
absolutely.
Like, because there's times where you're just like, oh my gosh, like this lore is so complicated and it's interweaving, but then like he throws Bonnie Tyler lyrics at you. It's like, hold on, this man is a genius.
He's like the smartest man you know, and he's also the funniest man you know, and he just rotates back and forth between those two things. Yeah.
He's the guy in the Dos Equis commercials from like 10 years ago. Like, he's the most interesting man in the world.
Okay. Will's just taking strays. He thought he was the most interesting man in the world. He's hurt now.
Will's taking strays.
I'll take backseat. I'll take co-pilot with that. That's fine.
Oh, guys. So let's get into like just final thoughts. We'll go around. We'll go around the table here. Faz, final thoughts on Giant Size Thor #1 in medias res.
I liked it. I didn't need to see Thor in a Speedo. That's not a cosplay that I'm going to be doing, but I appreciate it for what it is. Any excuse to get a Simonson era reprint works for me. And yeah, that's all I got. I'm happy with it. Give me more Rune King Thor related content, please.
We might have to make our own. And once we get to the end of Simonson, I do feel like we should throw maybe I don't want to like fully commit to this idea as I'm like articulating it right now, but maybe that should be like a Patreon thing where like Patreon members get to decide what creator
is it JMS, is it Jurgens, is it Aaron
Kirby
again? But yeah. Kirby.
Aaron again. I mean, I'll never say no, but it might be a tad redundant because I feel like no matter what we're talking about, Jason Aaron shows up. Will, final thoughts on Giant Size Thor #1?
Well, just a title, like what do we call it? Immediate res? Is that how you say it? Like
yeah,
in the middle of the story, like not to get like too like philosophical, nerdy, theology beer campy, whatever, but like when we meet people where they are, we're in the middle of their story, right? And so then we have to decide, like, do we want to invest in this relationship with this other person and learn about their past, and then are we going to like stick with them for their future? So like this whole thing, like we're thrown into the middle of the story. Like Star Wars was that, A New Hope. We're right in the middle of the story. There's a past, perhaps there's a future. Thor, we're thrown into these comics. Where do you jump into these comics? And yeah, they reboot and do #1s all the time to like lure you in. But most of the time you're jumping into the middle of a soap opera and then you figure out what's going on and then you invest in the past or invest in the future. And I think just like throwing us into the middle of this story and then reflect on like the relationships I'm a part of. Yeah, we're thrown into the middle of their story, and then where do we go from there? Do we want to know more from the past, and then do we want to be part of the future? So I love that aspect of the title of this story we're thrown in, and then the like this liturgical repeating of, do you want to know more? Do you want to be a part of this story? We're part of the whole story. We're all in this story together. Meant a lot to me. So yeah, it was a fun like team up, wham bam, like action kind of story, but then like on a deeper level, the relationships that are entrusted to us, what do we invest? What do we want to be a part of from the past, present, and future? I thought was like, again, that depth of Al Ewing is pretty fantastic. So, yeah, that's what it drew out of me in the midst of all this.
Wow. Yeah. Leave it to Will to make me
Yeah.
think deeper about this filler issue that I just thought I was going to read and be done with.
Yeah.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah.
God,
You're
now I
welcome.
got to contemplate shit.
Yeah.
Eric, any final thoughts on the issue? And then I have one last thought, something that I don't think we talked enough about. Eric, what would be your final thoughts on Giant Size Thor number?
Yeah, my final thoughts a little less philosophical, more of, hey, Speedo Thor made my night.
That's what I was gonna say.
Summertime. He's got wrestling boots on. They're brawling. I mean, it's a good time.
We got a hammer with little lightnings building up.
Will you be cosplaying this at a Comic-Con?
The last page of the book literally says, "We here at Marvel are in the middle of a heat wave," and I figured that's why he's dressed like this. They're like, "It's too hot. We're going to draw it like this." I do not have the Thor body like that. I will leave this cosplay to Eric Teske.
I love that he kept the boots. The boots were very important because they're still the huge, like Simonson, like thick boots.
It wouldn't be the 90s if he didn't have the thick boots.
Can you just think logistically, these aliens, they're like, we're going to take his shirt. We're going to take his pants. We're going to leave the Speedo. And we're going to put his boots back on after we take his pants.
They probably took off the Speedo and had to put it back on, right?
Yeah.
They saw whatever was under there and they were like, never mind. Let's put something on.
No offense to Jurgens and the Rune King and all that, but that was the lore nuggets that had the most on it. Man, Speedo Thor is a thing now. Man, the lore of Speedo Thor continues.
He's undefeated in battle is what we know, right?
Well, I'm not even gonna attempt a follow up on that one, guys.
Speedo Thor always finishes first.
Okay, shut that guy down. So, guys, this has been a fun issue to just chat and get the gang back together. Eric, is there going to be more Hercules coming up? Like, I would hate for this to be the last issue that you chat with us about. Are we going to get more Hercules coming up, you think?
I think that anytime Marvel does this thing where they kind of sprinkle a character in more frequently, it's because they're getting ready to announce something or we're going to see him make more appearances. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's maybe like a solo title 6 months from now, or I mean, who knows what. But Thor and Hercules are brothers in arms. They're best pals. They go way back. And so I think he should make some more appearances in this Immortal Thor run for sure.
They go all the way back to the name change of Journey into Mystery.
Yeah.
They go all the way back because Thor 127, I believe, is the first time that the Thor masthead changed from Journey into Mystery. And who's on the cover with Thor? It's our guy Hercules. I do also think that maybe we are going to be seeing a little bit more of Hercules in Steve Orlando's Avengers Assemble title.
That's right, with the Avengers jackets.
Oh my gosh, that's no offense to Jed McKay's Avengers. Avengers Assembled kind of looks like my Avengers book. The jackets, the mansion, the kind of the B Squad roster. I'm very excited for that title. I'm excited to see Hercules because I definitely see him playing kind of the Thor role on that team where he's the big brute, but also like we're gonna see him, with his character kind of like tweaks that have been made in the recent years that Eric talked about on a few recent episodes where like he has grown, but he is, he's still kind of the Hercules we remember, but he's matured. He's evolved a little bit more. And maybe we'll get him at the beginning of Immortal Thor 15 because we are not done with Nyx yet. We're not done with, Zeus is kind of a raisin right now, but we're not done with that story yet. So much Thor stuff to love. We got so much Thor stuff coming up. Eventually, we're going to get back to some Simonson Saga episodes. We are going to be talking about Immortal Thor 15. And guys, I don't know if you heard this, but in a few weeks, Donald Duck becomes Thor. That's happening, and we're going to talk about that. I guess I didn't think that was on our 2024 bingo card.
He's also on Hot Ones tomorrow for anybody who watches Hot Ones.
Who?
Donald Duck is?
Donald Duck is, yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, yeah. They just announced it today. He's the next host on Hot Ones. He's eating cauliflower wings. Obviously, he wouldn't have chicken or duck wings. Everybody.
What?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm here for it.
Like a guy in a suit or like a cartoon?
Sure. Like it's a cartoon. Like it's one of those things where like Sean Evans is over here and Donald Duck is over here and they're having a conversation. Yeah.
Okay. I will watch it. I will watch it.
Yes. I didn't even. Wow. The Hot Ones is really going to the next level.
My interest is piqued for sure.
My interest
100%.
Peaked. Everybody, check out the links in our episode description for social media or Patreon that you can join for just a few bucks. You get bonus episodes. You will get access to Giant Size pregame number 1, Drunk to Death, The Bear Story, and Connecticut has shitty roads, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
All the different things we talked about. We also have links to Discord, so just check all those things out. Leave us a review if you believe we've earned it. 5 stars would be fantastic. We would love that. And for myself, for Faz, for Will, for Eric, thank you for listening to this episode, this review of Giant Size Thor number 1. As we hop aboard the Rainbow Bridge and get out of here, we remind you that no matter what you're doing, no matter where you're at, no matter what you are going to be doing in the future, whether you're going to be gouging your own eyes out to gain all powerful wisdom, or jeez, no matter what you're going to be doing, just remember to stay worthy.
Bum, 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 bum. That was like such a dark sting there. Whether you're gouging your eyes out,
whether you're gouging your own eyes out.
Yeah,
guys, that was a good one. Hot Ones fan.
I loved it a lot.